Hi everyone, my name is Gregor, and I'm happy to be here today on Tech Lead conference with all of you guys. And today I'm going to be talking about how AI is impacting engineering leadership. And this is a topic that is quite a lot of people are asking about it, and I'll be talking about the most impactful things I'm hearing across the industry. And this is based on my discussions from various different engineers and also engineering leaders, and both from big tech and also startups. And also at the end, I'll be also sharing tips and also my advice on what to do to be a great engineering leader in 2025 and beyond. Before we get started with those impactful things, let me say a little bit about myself. So I have over 12 years of experience, both as engineer and also engineering leader. In my career, I grew from engineer to senior software engineer, then to engineering manager, team lead, engineering manager, head of engineering, VP of engineering, and then CTO. Currently, I'm working as a fractional CTO and an advisor, and also coach and mentor. Most people know me as a writer of engineering leadership newsletter, and I also teach a course. It's called Senior Engineer to Lead, Grow, and Thrive in the Role, where I helped over 200 students to grow, to be able to get insights on how to grow towards the next role, which is lead position. Overall, my goal is to help as many people as possible to become great engineering leaders. Okay, so let's talk about the first impactful thing that I'm seeing across the industry, and that is that 51% of engineering leaders believe AI is impacting the industry negatively. So this has been quite an alarming data point that I saw when I come across this information. By the way, this is from the Lead Dev report, where they interviewed more than 600 engineering leaders. And when I saw this data, I was thinking like, hey, what is going on here? What is happening? Why do we see that? And I started to dig through it, and I started to ask our other engineering leaders on what's happening, and I saw. I saw a lot of different important findings when I digged more in details. But also, before we go into that, an important thing to mention also from the Lead Dev report is that teams these days are feeling less motivated than 12 months ago, and that's also alarming, and that's also connected with engineering leaders believing that AI is impacting industry negatively. And we will go straight into why is that next. So it all starts with sensationalistic predictions regarding AI from non-public individuals, and you've probably seen a lot of this predictions. It's all across social media and different media platforms. For example, Mark Zuckerberg saying that AI will replace mid-level engineers in 2025, but we all know that this is not even close to being a reality. And, for example, also Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei mentioning AI could spike unemployment to 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years. And, believing also that AI could wipe out half of the all entry-level white-collar jobs. Such predictions are very, very sensational. And, just believing that unemployment will go up in the next 1 to 5 years by 5 to 10% is very, very, very big take. And it's hard to believe that's going to be the case. And then also, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy is saying AI will reduce its corporate workforce in the next few years. And the problem with such takes is that they create FOMO, they create fear of missing out. And whenever people feel that they are missing out on something, then they are doing some acts that are quite not as strategic and not that actually thought of. They're doing very reactive things in order to try to improve or try to adopt a certain technologies in order to not feel like that they are missing out and so on. So
I want to have a conversation with people, and avenues like this conference, are highly valuable to get out of your bubble, get out of your circle of influence, and just get other insights and other feedback. And you cannot have that by being online.
The best thing are the connections, and you can access to your heroes, right? Some people that you've been following for so long time, and they are here and they are available to talk to you, and they are willing to listen to you, to your ideas. I think that makes everything worth it, right?
what this creates then is that company leaders are experiencing FOMO when it comes to AI. And you've probably seen, this has been some time ago, Shopify CEO enforcing the use of AI in across all the teams in the company. And especially, I went through this memo pretty in detail, and some claims like AI improving productivity by up to 100%, 100x is quite a bold take, and it's quite unrealistic based on my discussions talking with various different people in the engineering industry and also across different industries as well. What we've seen the most is around 1 to 2x productivity increase, and also the bigger and the larger the code base you're working with and the more complex systems you're working with, the less impactful is going to be AI in order to be more productive. So such takes are what is then causing a lot of issues for people inside a team and inside a company, because the expectations are skyrocketing, and then people need to manage those expectations, right? And then also, demonstrating that you can do what is needed with AI before asking for more headcount. Again, this is something that is very sensationalistic, and it feels like that AI is going to replace many different people, and we need to justify new hires to be part of the team. Instead of looking at what are the actual business challenges and what do we need in order to solve those business challenges the right way. And also, we mentioned including AI usage as a KPI in the performance review. What I believe, is if you measure the wrong things, people are going to be inspired to try to game the system. And if you just measure AI usage as a KPI, then people are going to be inspired to try to use as much AI as possible and use as much as AI tokens. And that means also, the cost is going to go way up. But if the cost is not justified with business value, then the cost is, it's not useful. It's actually being used in a wrong way. So actually the company is losing money instead of gaining value. And then also we've seen company leaders like, for example, CEO from Fiverr, sending a memo to all of the employees about AI is coming for your jobs. And there are many more examples similar to this. I've spoken with many different CEOs and also company leaders, and I saw that being the case in many different situations. In some cases, I also saw different CEOs trying to wipe code the homepage of the current website, and then saying to engineering leaders and engineers how easy that is to be the case. And then it all trickles down to engineering leaders and their teams to being able to manage such unrealistic expectations. And this is what are we going to talk about next is I've heard a lot of different unrealistic expectations from many different individuals and believing AI is a plug and play solution that you can just plug it into existing workflows, and things are just going to work out very, very well. But it's rarely the case that plug and play rarely works across different improvements, and especially when it comes to processes. And expecting AI to eliminate all manual work is something that is also it's very it's very sensational, and it's just not possible, right? Understanding the cost and complexity of building internal LLMs, it's a big difference if you're building a model yourself, or if you're using existing model like GPT, for example. There can be a difference, can be between 300 days when you're building a certain feature with calling an existing model. You can just call that API, and it will do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. But if you build your own model, then you're going to need a lot bigger team and a lot more time and research to do that. Assuming AI will just magically understand the whole context and the specific domain, expecting AI to be replacing entire teams, assuming AI will just work without failures. And then also, thinking that there are no ethical, legal, and security risks when it comes to AI. If you're not careful, if you're just generating a lot of code and you're not reviewing correctly, then the problem is going to be with security, with ethical reasons, legal reasons as well, because the accountability should always be on the human side and never on AI. Also, assuming AI will exponentially increase the performance over time, and so on. And this is a good illustration of what's happening. And it all starts with sensationalistic takes by non-public individuals that then trickles down to company leaders experiencing FOMO with AI and forcing AI usage and AI feature development. What we've seen from a lot of different companies is that they're rebranding their companies to AI companies and also forcing development of AI features. What happens a lot of times is that this backfires back, and by trying to enforce too much different features, you lose the essence of what is actually what problem are actually solving for the users, and so on. A good case for this happening is Duolingo, where they completely made the AI transformation, and a lot of users didn't like that, and they stopped using it. And such things, feeling FOMO from company leaders then trickles down to engineering leaders and teams operating within unrealistic expectations. So this becomes a big problem then for engineering leaders and engineers. And that's also the reason why a lot of engineering leaders feel that AI is impacting the industry negatively. So what to do? I will give advice for both company leaders and engineering leaders. So let's first start with company leaders. Of course, the number one advice is you should not be letting FOMO get to you. And it all starts with setting the right goals and setting the right environment to be successful. And if you let that FOMO get to you, you're going to be doing, you're going to be doing decisions that are not going to be, in the best case scenario for the business, for the company. And especially if you try to do full scale AI transformation all at once, it will, in a lot of cases, backfire. It's not the way to go. Small experiments are a lot better. Start with something that is less impactful, and then you see how it's working. And then if it's working well, you move on to more impactful parts, and you utilize that in those parts. And also, what I like to say is there is no better productivity increase than a good culture. Good culture is going to be the most impactful for any company. It can be the reason of being more productive by 10x, 100x, and so on. Good culture is what really connects so many people together, and you can build so much good stuff, and people feel great working in a good environment. And good culture is what is going to be the foundation for is what is the foundation for many companies. And then also, let's go to the advice for engineering leaders. Obviously, the first thing is make sure to educate yourself on how to utilize AI tools, and also how others are using AI tools as well. And be confident. Whenever you're talking with company leaders, with stakeholders, with investors, with people who have unrealistic expectations, you need to be confident, and you need to inspire confidence in you. The last thing what you want to do is go straight into saying yes to silly requests, like, we need to start using this AI tool or we'll fall behind. This is the recipe for disaster. And if you do that, a lot of things are going to go wrong, and you will lose respect. People will lose respect for you. And what is going to happen, and what can happen, is just people, company leaders or any kind of other stakeholders are just going to make decisions without you. So instead of you being reactive, you need to be proactive, and you need to take ownership of the AI strategy and not wait to be looped in. That is very important. And especially for directors, VPs, and CTOs, don't wait to be looped in on AI strategy. You should be owning the AI strategy. You are the strategy. This is from Migdal Jaffer, for a product leader from OpenAI. We did a recent collaboration on my newsletter, and this has been one of the most important parts of that newsletter. Also, he mentioned that AI engineering strategy is actually the same as AI product strategy. So you should be the one who is dictating, like, hey, this is the way to use AI. This is how we should be using it. And this is how we can also, adopt AI across across the company. And his recommendation is for engineering leaders to get a lot more closer to that part, and the reason for that is that you already understand the whole part. You already understand what it takes in order to build that specific AI feature, AI product. As I mentioned before, it can be the difference. The way you approach to building that product or that functionality can be the difference between building it in 3 days or 300 days. What you need to focus on as well is, the what, the when, and the why. That is very important, and that takes a bit more business and product understanding. But anyway, you need to do that. This is very important in 2025 and beyond, that you as an engineer or an engineering leader become more business and product minded. So very important to take ownership of it. And also, this is a really good visual as well. This is from Migdat from OpenAI, and his proposal and his recommendation is that the whole strategy is a lot closer to engineering. You can see, like, a traditional product strategy is across many different departments, like product management, design, finance, UX research, QA, procurement, and so on. But in terms of AI strategy, that is a lot more closer to engineering. And the reason, as I mentioned before, engineering understands the whole part, and there is no one else who can understand better what it takes to build something, what it takes to actually make sure that that specific thing can be adopted across the organization, or we can build that AI feature, or we can build that AI product, and so on. So again, you should be the one who is owning the AI product strategy. Don't wait to be looped in on the AI strategy. Okay, let's talk about the second impactful thing that I see across the industry. And I see engineering roles just getting closer and closer together. And for example, like engineering managers to be expected to take on staff engineering roles as needed. Like, for example, if there's a project that is a lot more technical, and there may be a lot bigger need for someone that takes on more of a hands-on role, then it's expected that, for example, engineering managers take on a tech lead role if needed. Obviously, it depends on what kind of profile of people you have inside the team. But yeah, I can see this being the case more and more in the upcoming years as well. Similar, like with staff engineers, be able to take on manager hats if needed, and also architects, taking on staff engineer roles or manager roles if needed. I think those three roles are just getting more and more together and are going to get blurred as time goes on. And also similar trend I see for both product managers and engineers. I see the role of a product engineer getting more and more popular over time. And I see that, for example, a lot happening in smaller startups, smaller companies where, they're hiring product engineers and they're owning and they're proposing functionalities, solutions, and they're owning that those particular implementations themselves. And they're owning both what to build, why to build, and also when to build, and then also building it as well. And I think that is going to get more and more common as time goes by. So very important, if you're an engineer or engineering leader, become product and business minded. This is going to be more and more important. And here is why I believe that is happening more and more in many different companies. Obviously, we've seen layoffs happening within multiple companies, and as soon as there are fewer people inside a company, more is expected from existing people. And also, Amazon's initiative to increase the ratio of individual contributors to managers, that has inspired a lot of other companies to do a similar thing that more people are reporting directly to directors of engineering instead of reporting to middle management. And then also, the tools for development are getting just better and better over time. So that's why I believe, engineering roles are going to get more and more blurred as time goes by. So I believe, being good at many things will not be a nice to have, but a must have to do. So to help you, what you need to do as an engineer manager, engineer architect, I kind of like dissected the skills into two different parts. And the first one is human related skills. The more things are becoming robotic around us, the more important the human related skills are going to become: leadership, teamwork, good communication, being a great person to work with, empathy, and overall emotional intelligence. All of these skills can be replaced by AI, and you being good at it is, going to be immensely valuable to the company, to the team, to the organization, and so on. And the second part is, being good at solving problems, being pragmatic, being resourceful, having a good network of people who you can talk to and ask questions. Also having a list of resources that you can refer to anytime. Also, obviously, utilizing AI tools, business understanding, as we mentioned before, and also having a deep understanding of relevant topics. Especially see at current times, I see people coming to the industry with more shallow understanding of engineering fundamentals than, for example, 10 years ago. So having good understanding of, fundamentals and also particular topics that you work with is going to make you very, very valuable. And yeah, to help you with this, I have prepared a list of resources to becoming a great engineering leader in 2025 and beyond. You can just scan this QR code and it will take you to the list of resources. Some of the resources, some of the articles in this list are paid articles of my engineering leadership newsletter. And the only thing that you need to do is you just need to send an email to me and tell me that you've attended this talk, and I will give you a 1 month complimentary paid subscription. There's also a template of an email and also my email inside this link that you can scan with the QR code. I hope this has been helpful to you, and definitely, if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you so much, Gregor, for your session, and great seeing you in our Q&A session. Let's start from the question that didn't come from our participants, but I believe it's still top of mind for many engineering leaders and maybe company leaders in general. How do we actually measure impact of AI tools, of AI transformation? Anything that is tangible? What do you think?
Yeah, this is a really good question, and I think it's very kind of like a lot of people are thinking like, how can we do this at current times, right? Especially when I mentioned in the presentation about company leaders, having fear of missing out, especially like, hey, I'm missing out about this particular AI tool, and then kind of like saying, okay, we need to use this tool, but then you as an engineering leader, you need to kind of manage expectations. And it's really hard to manage expectations without any kind of data to be objective about, hey, how is this tool actually, is it working for us or it's not working for us? And there are three different things that I recommend. Obviously, the first one is adoption, like how many people are actually using this tool. Like, for example, if you're using Cursor, how many, what is the percentage of engineers that are actually using Cursor for development, right? That is like one of the things that you can track. The second thing I would track is like also like for example impact that has like a certain tool, like if using Cursor or using GitHub Copilot or using like a code review tool like a CodeRabbit or Corbit AI for example, is like for example you track different metrics like PR throughput, PR cycle time. You can also track like Adora's lead time to changes, and there are like many other metrics you can track here. But yeah, you can pick whatever works for you in your specific case. And then the third thing I would also recommend is to track the cost as well, because if you're just blindly like throwing money into spending like tokens and you actually don't see any impact without it, like it can skyrocket the amount of money you're spending, especially if you're working on a more complex code base, right? The more complex code base you're working with, the more tokens you're going to be spending when you're doing things with AI tools, right? So you need to be having a good track of that as well. I recommend at least to have one metric at least, but it's better to have more than one.
100%. Yes, yes, yes. So big picture is super important in that sense. So yeah, I personally see that some leaders start from point number 3. You mentioned how much will it cost for me, but maybe this is not the best or not the only question, right? So it's after all it's investment, but there is some return on this investment is
Exactly.
expected. And also what really resonated with me in your session is that FOMO is definitely not the best driver for running this kind of transformation. Like, oh, everyone is
Right.
there. We need to be there as soon as possible. Who cares about metrics? We just need to say, hey, we are AI native company. Doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And also, especially if you're tracking like amount of usage, as a certain engineer is using, and you're tracking that on any kind of performance performance reviews, then engineers are going to be actually incentivized to spend as many tokens as possible, but there's not going to be any return on actually spending those tokens, right? So you're actually wasting a lot of money if you're not focusing on solving business challenges.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Good idea to start from the challenge, find the solution, but not vice versa. Because yeah, in early days of generative AI, I've seen lots of examples when companies, those leaders, started from okay, we have a solution. Now, which challenge should we use to apply the solution for? Wrong way. Yeah, look at the questions again. Let's keep this one about future looking for if we have time. But yeah, what is good culture for AI? I believe you mentioned this multiple times, but what exactly constructs this good culture? So, and someone is sharing that they implemented AI lightning talks, AI-focused hackathons, AI champions committee. Any other practical recommendations you can add to this list?
Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of good stuff already. Sharing knowledge is really important when it comes to AI. Anyone who knows something, be open about it and share that with everyone. Any kind of lightning sessions work really, really, really good. I saw a lot of engineering organizations also creating dedicated AI engineering teams, specific teams to just certain AI initiatives, also like more ML focused teams as well. I've seen that as well. Obviously, small experiments are the way to go when it comes to AI. You can't just be doing like bigger adjustments and expect that you're gonna get good results, because that's not how things work. Pick like one specific thing that is potentially going to be less impactful and try to focus on improving on that part. And then if you see if it's working, then also try to use that same approach in other more impactful things, right? That is my recommendation. You guys are already doing a lot of stuff that you have mentioned. Sharing knowledge is key. Open sessions, documentation is really important. I would like to also, like, if you can streamline any kind of documentation that you're working with, and then you can also, if you can also put all that documentation inside a context so people can easily find that as well. That is a great thing to do. Obviously, don't start with just, okay, we need to adopt this AI tool, but hey, this is our business challenge that we're solving, but these are potential AI tools we can solve, we can use in order to solve this problem.
Very good advice and a very good set of very like practical tips and tricks where to start and how to proceed. And let's pick the last question from our today's very active participant, Patricia. Patricia, you rock. Send us more questions. What do you think about emotional intelligence connected to adoption of AI? I believe that resonates well and builds on building company culture, right? This question. And Patricia thinks that educating about emotional intelligence as a part of AI adoption strategy of company would help a lot. Do you agree? What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, this is really good question from Patricia. Emotional intelligence is something that I don't see AI replacing anytime soon, and it's going to be something unique to us for a long time, for foreseeable future. And it's something that I recommend to everyone to focus on and improve, and especially focus on human-related skills. When things are becoming more and more robotic around us, you need to become, great team player, great person to work with. Focus on improving your leadership skills. That's where like emotional intelligence comes in and becomes very important, right? So yeah, I fully agree with that. Overall soft skills are going to be just more and more important in our industry, in engineers, in any roles, engineering leaders, architects, whoever. When tools are becoming better and better, the competitive thing that makes you stand out is going to be, those people skills, soft skills, and how you can utilize tools and overall problem solving. So yeah, I fully agree with that part. And I would also recommend to companies to have some sort of like a specific trainings just to improve like emotional intelligence in general, soft skills, human related skills, teamwork, leadership, etc.
100%. Yeah, maybe exactly emotional intelligence is the last borderline between us humans and digital labor, AI agents,
Right.
and all on that end. Yeah, Gregor, thank you so much for your session. I really enjoyed our conversation, and yeah, let's stay connected. See you.
Thank you for having me.